Hey guys, okay, I'm back again. I'm having my Diet Coke break. No, it's Pepsi! It's Pepsi! Okay, so, and I went to Home Depot to pick up a few bits and pieces. I'm going to use, I've got some 2x4s and I've got some 1.5 by half inch. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a cover from here. It's going to go there. Let me show you. This is kind of what I'm planning on doing. So, can you see? Something like that. And then I'm going to put a 1.5 inch thing on there. Just to cover it. It's just, you know, just a few tap screws. Just to cover this. Now what I'm going to probably do is, I'm going to take these off and kind of lift this a bit higher. Okay, then come along here and kind of do the same thing, see what I can do on there. So I've got a couple of, I've got 2 or 3 of these. In fact, I've got a whole whack of them. They're kind of painted to the same kind of thing. And it's just really kind of tough to hide it. So I'm just really pissed off with it. It really needs to be in something proper. So also the wood will actually protect it. Okay, so I've measured things out. I've got 3 of these baseboards. I can't remember where I had these before, but they're the same colour, so I may get away with this. I want this one to be as close as inside to there as possible. This is screwy there, but that's the right side round. And if I can get it up to there, then I'm okay. I can kind of live with that, but it's just crap I can't live with. Now what I've done is, because I'm going to be drilling into here, I've taken these off. I've left the screws on there and that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut up my 2x4s on one end, and then put maybe in the half, maybe get 2 full ones and 2 halves on the top and the bottom and secure them with screws. Okay, that's what I'm going to do now. So I changed my mind again. I went to Home Depot and I got some 3/4 inch ply because I thought that if I put these on, it's going to be a bit more fiddly. So I checked this depth to account for this, and I thought if I put these on first, which as you can see there, I put the beginnings of a frame which goes to there, then I can just screw them onto there, and I don't need very, very big screws to go through 2 pieces of plank, if you kind of get me. These are just gone straight into, they're not moving. They've gone straight into the bottom. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go and grab some lunch. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these back up. I'm going to try and cut a channel there to kind of push it in there. And then I'm going to put the other 3 pieces. I may or may not put another set of joists under. I'm not sure. I mean, it won't hurt anything because I've got enough. But that's what I've got to say. Let's look at a wider shot. I've pinned them up against this as high as I can. I cut a little slot in there to feed it into there, and that comes up to here. And and that comes up to here, and I'm fine. So now, and then that's looking a lot better. I'm not worried about the paint or anything. I'm going to repaint that bit because I'm sure I've got paint, and yeah, that's coming along better. Looks a lot better. It's hidden, and once I get the stuff on these, they won't look too bad. So, so doesn't that look a shitload better? So let me get in a bit closer. I didn't put any battenings underneath it because there wasn't enough space, so that's fine. It comes up to here. I've got a little bit of a doofer there. I think I'm going to see if I can get a corner piece, like you know like a triangle corner piece you can get. Let's see if I can get something like that to put there. But I'm not really too worried about it. The top pieces I'm going to paint. So I'm going to get some filler. Put some filler in there just to tidy it up, but you know, compared to having those dangly cables, it's really, really pissed me off. That's a lot better. I'll have to obviously now get this kind of sorted out, but I'm not too worried about that for the moment. So I'm going to have a look to see what I have filler-wise, latex filler. I really want to see if I've got some paint. These marks will come off with a bit of soap and water, and I think I'll show you that next bit once I've filled it up, cleaned it all up, and made it look. But I like that. That looks a lot better. Okay, so I used some of this. I had all this already, so I wasn't going to go out and buy something specific, but I got some drywall compound. I've used this. It's pretty good stuff. Basically, I've kind of tried to seal it up to make it look as decent as I can before I paint it. I'm gonna, if you try and put too much on and you scrape off, you get a few bits and pieces looking about. So it's always best to put one coat on, let it dry. It kind of sinks as well a little bit, and then put it across. I've kind of sealed the holes as well. I'll have to go over them again. And use that to get it on there. And I think that should be good. I tried to put a kind of an angle on this. I'm going to go and see if I can get something anyway, but if not, I just put a bit more of an angle, let that dry, and see how that goes. If not, I can always sand it down. It's not a big bad issue, and looks 100 times better than that crap that they had before, right? So I'm going to sand this down and come back to you. Okay, so I've let this dry. I've also sanded it down. It's not come out too bad. This little strip of, this little strip of paint, and I'm going to get it matched up and paint it. It should be good. Even if it's not 100%, I'll paint up to there and these bottom bits, and that should be good. So I'm going to put another layer on now. Okay, I'll put another layer on. And I just got to sand it down. This comes out a bit. This has come out a bit better, but when I sand it down, it should look a bit better than that. And yeah, I've got to let this dry. It needs to dry nice and hard. It's like I don't know. And I usually leave it overnight because I've got other stuff to do, and I don't have time to come back. But it needs to be nice and hard, so when you sand it, it comes off quite easily. So tomorrow I'm going to do the final sand, and I'm going to try and get to Home Depot because I've got to get a few other bits and pieces, and I want to get some of these clips to clip up onto the wall. And there's a bit under here, which you can probably see. I might have to just put a nail there or something, or put a screw to stop it from coming up, or maybe put a clip under there to raise it up. But yeah, coming up. I finished sanding it down. Hasn't come out too bad. I hope it may have a few glitches and ditches, but up and over it's okay. And that's the rounded bit. It's not too bad. I like that. And we've got that bit here. So all I'm going to do now tomorrow, I'm going to get the paint, and then after I get the paint, I'm going to get the hose clips. And it's pretty much finished. I just got to hook the rest around and make sure they're okay. Maybe put something underneath there to keep that from falling down, because you can see it from some angles, but it's not necessarily an issue. It's good. I like it. And then I can paint everything, and we're good to go. I'm going to use a primer. It's not exactly, well, it is a primer. Yeah, here we go. It's a primer, a sealer, and a stain blocker. It's called Kills 2. I've used it before. It's very kind of watery. So give it a good stir. Because if you're going to use any paint in a garage, it's considered exterior. Do not use interior paint. Okay? So make sure that when you get this paint, it's exterior. So I'm going to put some Kills on there. I'm going to get my brush because there's a few pieces of sand still on there. I thought I'd cleanse it, not sand, the drywall compound. I'll just brush it off. Then I'm going to put some of this on. I think it needs 2 coats. Let me check. Leave it to dry for 1 hour, then put another coat on, and I think we'll do that. So let's get cracking with that. Okay, that's the first coat, and as you can see in places it looks patchy, and you know that's fine because it's just the first coat. Just let it dry, don't worry about it fully setting. You'll see brush marks, and again I'm not worried about that. I'm going to come back in an hour, put another coat on there, and then I'm going to go over it with a brush with the top coat, and then I'm going to finish it with a roller. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to do this whole side of the wall, because I've got like a gallon of that, I think it's Seco I got, and I'm going to go over this whole area. So I'm not really worried about brush marks because the roller will get rid of those. So I'll be back in about now. Okay, so I put the second coat on, and that looks a bit better. I'm not really too worried. There is some brush marks in there, but I'm not really too worried about that, because when I obviously get the right colour on there, then that'll go. Don't try and get too many coats on at the same time. Oh, sorry, too heavy a coat. Just let it do its stuff. It's a wee bit patchy, but I'm not really too worried about that. When I do the final coat with the roller, it'll be good. Load up the roller very well. It's just kind of acts as a primer. That's all it's really doing. I'm going to get something under there and lift it up. I managed to find these clips, so I'm going to play around with that. Okay, guys, so I put the paint on. Now the paint, just in case you want to know what paint it is Valspar, and this is from Lowe's, and they did a perfect match. It hasn't dried yet, but it should be this kind of finish, but I'm hoping it should be good. Okay, I kind of masked that. One coat, it covers better. You can obviously see some brush marks in there. I can't recoat this for another 4 hours, so it's going to be tomorrow now. I put a clip on there, lifted that up, and I've kind of done this. This is how I've always done it, because I don't know why I did this initially in the first place. So it comes up around here, and then the other one goes up into there. I have no idea why I did that, but anyway, so I'm happy to do that. I think it's something to do with you should have a hose up like that. I don't know, I'm talking bullshit. But anyway, I did it like that, and I'm not worried about it. So what I'm going to do tomorrow, I'm going to put another coat on here, another brush coat on here. That should be good. I'm just going to then put some more brush coat on this, just to kind of camouflage it. Then I'm going to put this into a container and get a roller and do that whole side, because it needs a bit cleaning. Actually, what I might do is I might actually fill these holes before I do that. Yeah, I might fill these holes. Maybe I'll just do up to here, I don't know, and touch up plenty of bits. No, might as well, I don't know, because with a roller it's not too bad. So it's a shitload better, don't you think? Like, you can't see any cables. Okay, it's not fantastic out in it there, but it's a lot better. So, you see you tomorrow. Hey guys, so I put the first coat on there, and it's dried up nicely, actually. There are a few, you can see probably a little bit close, which you can't see. Kind of a little bit of a thing there, but that's because this is old paint and this is new paint. So I've kind of camouflaged these. That's come out quite nice, I like it. And it's not meant to be perfect, as good as I can get it. I painted underneath. I'm not sure you can see. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a trick I want to show you with paint. If you want to hang on to the paintbrush and you don't want to keep washing it, put it into a plastic bag and it keeps it wet. It doesn't let the air dry to it. Another little trick is to get more paint than you actually need, especially when it comes to matching up. Like this, I only need like a quart, but if you get like a gallon or half a gallon or whatever this is, 3 litre, then you got more than enough, you know, for touching up. And also try and get, before it dries up, get a bit of paper, dip it in there, and you've got the colour. Because if you have to take this, you can, if you take the thing, you're good. Or you can cut a piece of this and then strip it off and take it, because I need that to do. And also when you store tins, they tend to form a a skin. So what you do is put the lid on, tap it on, and then store it upside down, like I've got here. Might sound counterintuitive, but you've got an air gap which forms here. So when you turn it round, it's the right side round. You don't have to worry about killing the skin or whatever. It's there, okay. So I found that works for me. Okay, so I finished putting a coat. I guess I could put another coat on, but I don't think I really need to. This is behind one of the frames, so I'm not worried about the holes. It doesn't need to be 100% perfect, but as good as I can get it, really. It's got to let it dry, but that already looks 100 times better, right? When you come in, there's no cracky wires there. It's like the guy should have really kind of fed it behind the wall, or even pinned it underneath there. Like this, like when you hire a contractor, an electrical contractor, they're supposed to know. You're not the expert, they are. We run it that way, but he said, you know what you could do is you could run it underneath there, or run a square conduit, or at least make sure the conduit's bloody straight. So I've got to put the hosey back on again. My snowy stuff. I'm going to kind of measure and see how I can put them on the wall, and then I can move everything back and I can start on the wheels. But yeah, I think this is pretty much it. So I may do one more video with everything back up on the wall to show you. Alright, back in a sec. We have finally finished. So we had a couple of oops moments. I had this down here, and although everything fitted, this kind of jutted out a bit too much. So I wanted these a bit closer to the wall. So as this was in all the right area, I decided to put the snow shelves here. So this is like nice out the way, and then we've got all this stuff here. So it's just like a little bit better. I might actually try and find a clip to put it up against the wall, one of those command strip things. I'm sure I actually can find one of those and put it here. Don't know, something like that. You know, like this up here, some kind of thing. I don't know. But anyway, I've left this here for the moment. I had to repaint over a few of the other bits and pieces, but they'll be okay. So it kind of looks good. I kind of like it. Let's go back. And it's not difficult, but it's just little things which when you do kind of help. At least when you come here, I've got to get my trolley. I'll have to play around with that and put the trolley in there somewhere, or maybe on the other side. I don't know. We'll have to see. But anyway, everything's looking good. That's the end of this. The tyre side, I'm going to move all this stuff, clear stuff, move it over here, and put those tyres there on the wall. So we've got these. I managed to get the actual tyre hooks. I had to buy a whole set because I can't remember what happened to the other one, because I've only got 3. I got the bolts, so I can actually return these bolts back because they came. So anyway, we'll do that in another video. So yeah, so yours truly, Big J, saying I hope you like this, and we'll crack it on with the garage project. Take care. I'm out of here.